Welcome back to the channel. I want to ask you a question. Do you ever have those days where it feels like a lot of small things just build up and start to frustrate you? Or maybe it's a day where there's just really one thing you have to try to remember and somehow you manage to forget that thing, like taking a piece of mail with you to work so that you can take it to the post office. Or maybe there's a package that you need to mail. Or maybe it's that you're going to go to the store after work and you want to remember to take a return with you and you just keep forgetting to do it. Well, I'll give you a personal example. A few months ago, my wife was told she was going to have to come back to the office 2 days a week. And we started to look at our schedule and figure out how that was going to work and what we would need to do. And the morning that she would get up to go, she'd be rushing around trying to get ready. I was trying to get my son ready for school, trying to make breakfast and all the normal stuff that you're doing first thing in the morning. And we realized that the car seat for my daughter was still in my wife's car. Well, she's about to drive to work, and of course she'd have the car there and the car seat with her all day, so we needed to rush around and try to get that uninstalled from her car and get it reinstalled in my car. And this kept happening week after week. We drive my wife's car most of the time, and so the car seat needed to be in there for most of the week, but then just those 2 days a week, we needed to remember to get the car seat into my truck. Well, there's an easy solution to that, and it's called POKA-YOKE. Now, what in the world is POKA-YOKE, you would say? Way back in the 1960s, Toyota had a group of engineers that really started to take a look at their manufacturing process. And they tried to design small things that they could implement that would prevent them from making mistakes, or if a mistake was made at some point in the process, that would be caught before it actually went on to the next step of manufacturing or before it went out the door to a consumer. We call this system the Toyota Production System now, or TPS. But some of the things they came up with are pretty remarkable, and they're still used today by big companies to try to make sure that their processes are efficient and mistake-free. So POKA-YOKE was one of the things that one of the engineers came up with, and it's just a Japanese word that means mistake-proofing or error-proofing. So while these companies use this process in their manufacturing, you don't realize it, but as a consumer, you've been POKA-YOKE'd yourself. So do you know how sometimes you go to shut the microwave and it won't start until the door is all the way shut and locked? That's POKA-YOKE. When you get in your car in the morning and you go to start it or put it in gear, you have to put your foot on the brake in order for that to happen. That's POKA-YOKE. You ever notice that sometimes you go to lock your keys in the car on accident and the car physically won't let you lock it because your keys are inside? That's POKA-YOKE. If you're driving around and you see an intersection where they've separated the turn lanes from the lanes that are going straight through the intersection with a cement median, that's another example of POKA-YOKE. So once you start looking around, you see examples of this everywhere you go and realize that it's already been installed in your life without you even realizing it. What does it mean for you and me? Well, it means if we look at our life and we can see instances of small things that go wrong that cause a lot of frustration, there's a way we can build in a POKA-YOKE to try to prevent that. So I'm going to use the car seat example and walk through the steps that you can use to create a POKA-YOKE in your life and eliminate some of these frustrations. So we're going to use the word PRIM, P-R-I-M. P stands for identify the problem. Now, in my instance, it was very easy to see what the problem was. It was that the car seat was not in the right car when it needed to be. And I'm sure if you look at your life, it's very easy to point out those small things that keep going wrong time after time and cause a lot of frustration for you. R stands for root cause. We want to understand what is the root cause of the problem. So the problem for me was that the car seat was not in the right car. The root cause of it was that I kept forgetting those 2 days a week that the car seat needed to be somewhere else. It needed to be in my vehicle for those 2 days. I stands for implement a solution. So there are probably lots of things that we could have done when we were trying to decide how to fix this very small annoyance that kept cropping up. But the thing that we settled on was that I would create an alarm and it would go off every week the night before my wife had to go into the office for the first day. That way, no matter what was going on in our life or how busy or hectic that day was, at some point I would get reminded that I needed to move the car seat before the next morning. Lastly, the letter M. M stands for monitor and refine. Now, using the alarm for us has worked great, and we haven't come across a set of circumstances that prevent it from working for us. But you can understand that in a lot of different situations, there may be times when you institute a POKA-YOKE and realize that certain circumstances may come about that will prevent it from being effective. So monitor and refine just means that you keep an eye on it, and if there's some sort of an anomaly or some sort of crazy set of circumstances that happen that renders your POKA-YOKE ineffective, you want to change that a little bit so that you can incorporate that particular set of circumstances and still get the reminder or still be prevented from making the mistake. Now, with modern smartphones, location-based reminders and shortcuts and all of the software that we have at our fingertips, I'm sure that you can identify lots of ways where you could use something similar to eliminate these small annoyances before they even happen and make your life a little bit more efficient and a little more stress-free. So that's it. It's that easy. Now, if you found a way to implement a POKA-YOKE in your life, go ahead and share it with me and others who watch the video in the comments so that we can benefit from it. Thank you for joining us. As always, like, subscribe, share the video with somebody else that you know. We'll see you in the next video.